For this overview of free camping in West Virginia, I'll be using Google Earth. Free camping area number 9 is Gandy Creek Dispersed Camping Area, located south of Elkins, West Virginia, just a little bit south of Whitmire. So this is a typical campsite. Let me zoom in a little bit more. You see that fire ring in this pull over here? You can pull your camping configuration right in there. There's your fire ring. This is Gandy Creek running along here. I'll throw some photos up. While we're here, before we go any further, I'm going to zoom out a little bit and show you why this area is so attractive for a free camping area. See, right here is Spruce Knob. It's the highest point in West Virginia. There's an observation tower there. There are hiking trails there. There's a picnic area there. Right over here is Spruce Knob Lake. There's a primitive campground that the National Forest Service has there. It's a paid campground. But it is pretty, and then there's a walking trail that goes around the Spruce Knob Lake. Seneca, by the way, this is there's a creek that runs down through here. That's Seneca Creek, and one of the most spectacular hiking trails, backpacking trails in West Virginia is that Seneca Creek backcountry. And there's a whole network of trails that you can even access that network from the Gandy Creek Dispersed Camping Area. So for all these reasons, the Gandy Creek Dispersed Camping Area has a lot to offer. In the first part, there's some nice RV sites. I believe there was an A stream in there. I'll give you a photo of that. All up and down here, there are campsites. And you see this road here? There is a large flat area up in here. And when I was there were like 3 RVs that were camping up here. One was a fifth wheel. And there's another camping area back up in here. But all along this creek, Gandy Creek, there are, and you'll see them, there are pullovers with campfire rings. There's a walking bridge that will take you up into the Seneca Creek backcountry. So for all those reasons, Gandy Creek is one of my favorite free camping areas in West Virginia. From there, we are going to free camping area number 8, which is Lower Glady Dispersed Camping Area. One of the things I want to tell you about the Lower Glady Dispersed Camping Area is it sits right at the base of Otter Creek Wilderness. If you take right here, there's a trailhead. It's the Milas Trailhead. And this is actually a backpacking trail that will take you up into the Otter Creek Wilderness backcountry. But here, right here, is where you enter the dispersed camping area. You see this large open area. There's a campfire ring there. When I was there, there were 3 or 4 RVs scattered in here camping. This is Glady Creek, beautiful scenic creek. They have, it's stocked with trout, so it's going to see some traffic in the spring during trout season. You have campsites off to the left here as well. There's a nice campsite that had an RV in it right in here. And then further down, you have a pit toilet about right in this area. And then you see this, you can see this, like a horseshoe right here. There are campsites all along this horseshoe, just free dispersed campsites. And those campsites are marked. There's a second dispersed camping area up in here. From here, to take a trip up the Canaan Loop Road. Free camping area number 7, Canaan Loop Road. You're going to access the Canaan Loop Road dispersed camping area from State Route 32. It's just south of Davis, West Virginia. And all down this road, you're going to see pullovers with campfire rings. And I show you photos of some of those. this campsite here is one of the larger camping areas, and you have a fire ring right back in the pocket here. And right across the road, you'll also find several rings just inside of the wood line. And you see this boardwalk. This is a this is a trailhead, and this boardwalk will take you down. Well, the hiking trail will take you down into Canaan Valley State Park. This is one of my favorite locations in West Virginia. It has a subalpine feel. It has the same sort of feel as Dolly Sods. Dolly Sods in the Canaan Valley area are my favorite locations in West Virginia. For a good 15 years, every fall, that would be the last camping trip for myself and my family. And we would go backpacking and just spend about a week in the Canaan Valley, Dolly Sods area. I'll throw some photos up. You can get a feel for just how subalpine the scenery is. Just spectacular. From Canaan Loop Road, we are going to go to Gladwin Dispersed Camping Area, which is going to be free camping area number 6. When you first come into the Gladwin Dispersed Camping Area, you're going to find a couple RV sites right in here. And you're going to access this road here, Gladwin Road. The general access is going to be from State Route 32, then you go to State Route 72, and then there's another road you take from there. In the Gladwin video, I give you a recommendation on how best to get a rig in here. Some of these roads are narrow. I would not come down this hill. I would come in from the way I just mentioned. You have 2 campsites in here, and then you have a large tent camping over in here along the Cheat River. And if you proceed down this road, you'll come across this bridge. And on the right-hand side, there's a sweet campsite. Out of all the campsites, that is the sweetest campsite. And I'll throw a photo of that campsite up for you. There was an RV parked in there, and wow, what a view this guy had from his camp. When you cross the bridge, you'll come over here, and there is another campsite up in here. And in fact, if we zoom in a little bit, you can see there's a vehicle parked right in here. And that green area, that's a campsite. There's a fire ring right up in here that overlooks the river. If you're tent camping, there are some nice campsites along the river. From Gladwin Dispersed Camping Area, we are going to go to free camping area number 5, which is Stone Coal Dispersed Camping Area. What's notable about Stone Coal Dispersed Camping Area, let me back out just a bit. This is US Route 250. You can get right on this route here, which is Forest Route 209, directly off of US Route 250, and it parallels this creek, Stone Coal Creek. And I'll throw some photos up of some of the views that, from the campsites along Stone Coal Creek for you. And if you proceed out, there are campsites all along here, but there are some nice campsites where you can get larger rigs in right in here, off to the left, right before you hit this turnaround. See that turnaround right here? There is a turnaround, and you loop back out. There are vault toilets in here, but this scenery in here is really nice. From here, we're going to go to the Little River Dispersed Camping Area. This is free camping area number 4. If you like the tent camp, although you can get a rig out in here, there are many sites where you can get you can park your vehicle and then walk a short distance and pitch a tent right by the river. And I show you some video of the river and just how quaint it is. This is in Pocahontas County, West Virginia. Again, this is bear country. Lots of pine down in here. You have a real remote feel in this camping area and some of these campsites. You can get a rig out in here, and there's one large campsite, and I'll give you a photograph of that. It was a real long, large campsite, and it was a short distance from the river. But there are plenty of campsites right along the river. The next free camping area that we're going to visit is a short distance away. This is going to be near Durban, West Virginia. You'll also access it from US Route 250, and then you get on Forest Road 44 or Route 44. And this is a single campsite. But what I like about this campsite is once you turn off of Route 44, it loops down in here. You see this? And then right down in here, you have a fire ring. While I was there, a guy did come down while I was checking the camping area out. He parked his vehicle, and then he did inform me that they stocked this creek with trout. And in the springtime, it's a popular fishing spot. So if you did camp down in here, you might have some people park to go fish. You have the West Fork Rail Trail, and concurrent with the length of that West Fork Rail Trail is the Allegheny Trail. It's a yellow hashed marked trail. And so you have access to both of those from this particular campsite, as well as you have a view of this creek after you come down in here. You really can't see the creek from the campsite, although you can hear the creek. So just up the road, we're going to go to free camping area number 2, which is the West Fork Rail Trail dispersed campsites. And what's remarkable about this camping area is it's also off of Route 44. And when you come down in here, there are 3 distinct campsites, RV campsites. You can get RVs in here. There was an RV right in here as you first go down the hill. I'll show you photographs. And there was another one down in the quarter pocket here near the creek. Now, you couldn't see the creek, but you could hear the creek. And if you walk just down over the hill here, you have the West Fork Rail Trail, and then, of course, you have the creek. But this was a nice camping area. You have 3 distinct campsites. And then right down the road, heading north on 44, you have an actual trailhead for the West Fork Rail Trail. And I show you photographs of that as well. From there, we are going to free camping area number 1, which is Abe's Run Road dispersed campsites. And my son and I, when we visited here, we were scouting the National Forest for dispersed campsites, and this was a new find for us at the time. We liked this area so much that we ended up camping here. So you see in the satellite photo, you do see an RV in there. And so there's one campsite over in here. There's another campsite on the opposite side of the road. This bridge right here is a low water bridge, and it crosses the East Fork of the Greenbrier River. And once you cross this, now if you're going to go over here, you want to be mindful of the weather, because if it rains, you're not going to be able to cross that river. It was dry when I crossed, and it was okay with my 4-wheel drive pickup, but just be cognizant of the weather if you cross over in here. There's a campsite right up in here. I'll show you a photograph of that campsite. The fire ring's right by the stream, the river. And then on this side, you is the sweetest campsite of them all. And we were so impressed with how remote this campsite was and just the feel that you got um, with the pine and the river. And then you had a water drop off where you could hear the water. We set up camp right here, and I show you photographs of that. We stayed up and had a campfire that night. We had plenty of firewood. There was a fallen tree there. We brought some firewood with us. We had a great time at Abe's Run Road Dispersed Camping Area. So I hope you enjoyed this overview of free camping in West Virginia and the 9 free camping areas we covered. If you like these videos, like and subscribe, and I'll see you down the road.